Okay, I promised you guys another flamingo wreath, and here it is. This is one of the first ones I did here on my channel. You can notice with the blue background, and again, we're starting with a large wreath form from the Dollar Tree and some of these fern plants. What I noticed is that the leaves are different. You can see some are like long and dark green, and some are lighter green and shorter. So I just went ahead and separated everything, pulling everything apart, so I would have it all available to work with to start building this out. And we're going to use zip ties to try to attach these to this wreath form. And I just kind of want to use those, alternating them. I'm going to do a bundle of like 2 of the longer ones, 1 of the smaller ones, all together like that. So it can kind of speed the process up a little bit by doing 3 at a time. And I just zip tie them. I'm using like those smaller black zip ties from the hardware section at Dollar Tree. They're really a nice size for wreaths because they're nice and small like this. And we can kind of scatter those out. The smaller fern piece kind of has like a detail there at the end, which is great, but I just kind of wanted like the different variations in colors. I wanted this to look really tropical, and we're going to be adding, you guessed it, a pink flamingo to this one as well. So this is kind of my bundle method. As you can see, it's holding the stems onto the wreath form pretty well, but this is a pretty long leaf. So I am going to have to further kind of shape this up and attach that to the wreath form so these don't go every which way. But I'm just using that center wreath form to get it started, attaching it there, and spreading the leaves out, which kind of covers, you know, the entire wreath form. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. I kind of lost track of how many ferns I used. I'll have to look that up. And put the last one right here. I did have extra pieces of the fern left over, so you can always go back and kind of add more if you want to any areas that need it. This is the floral wire from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this to help shape everything up, keep all the leaves in place, but it's going to kind of blend in with that green color. It's not going to be super noticeable. And we're just going to wrap that around, kind of feeding it in and out of leaves and stuff like that. And this really seemed to stabilize everything. The zip tie worked to attach it, but it wasn't great for, you know, keeping the round shape of the wreath form. So I just wrapped that all the way around, going in and out of the leaves, at least making sure one is kind of bound to the wreath form so they don't wiggle around. And just tying that off here on the back, you can kind of see how much wire I actually had to go in and use for this. And it's looking tropical. Some of the leaves are a little bit bent up like that. I have found that if you use some of like a heat gun, you can kind of iron those back in place a little bit. And then I'm just kind of filling up any gaps I see with an extra leaf. If I see a place that needs a little bit more, I just add one of the extra leaves and a zip tie to it, kind of working that all together to make it nice and fluffy. Now for the pink flamingo, we're going to be using 1 for this wreath DIY. And I do want to bring out the texture. I don't really want to custom paint this one though. So I'm just going to distress it to try to bring out that texture. I just used like an ivory. I was going for like a coastal feel on this one. So I just kind of wanted it to look kind of coastal distressed like this. So that is another option that you can use to kind of DIY these little plastic pink flamingos. And you can see it does, just dragging it over it just brings out that texture. I'm just following that up with a baby wipe, just to kind of, you know, blend it in. Make sure it's not too much distressing, just a little bit. Also on the neck and the head of it as well. And it just added a little bit more detail to the plain pink plastic. And then I just need to attach it to the wreath form. This one I actually didn't poke a hole. I actually just used twine. And I'm just going to kind of patch that to the back. I'm thinking that the wire is probably a little bit sturdier. I just used a little bit of hot glue, some twine, and a little bit of Dollar Tree burlap ribbon to kind of make a little patch, hot gluing it all over. You're not going to be able to see back there anyway. And then I can just tie that off to our tropical wreath. I want it to kind of be over here on the bottom right side, so I just kind of sit that where I want it. taking that twine and bringing it around the back, and we can just tie it to the wreath form. I'm also going to be adding a sign to this wreath with a fun little saying on there, and we're going to try some like faux wood burning with that one with this fun marker or paint pen that I got on Amazon. So that looks cute. This is the sign we're going to use. It's one of the hanging shelves from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to go in and remove the rope there from the bottom. We can leave the rope on the top to use to attach to the wreath form. And this is the paint pen I was telling you about. It's a wood burning pen. And I wanted to show you how fun this was. It's so much easier than wood burning. I'm just going to kind of freehand what I want it to say. I thought since there was a flamingo on there, it would be really fun to do welcome to my nest on a wreath for my front door. So just trying to kind of freehand that out just with cursive handwriting. And then you go back with a heat gun or a blow dryer and it turns dark, making it look like it's actually wood burn. And it actually worked pretty well. I was kind of impressed with it. If you want it to be darker, you can add more heat. You can also go back in with your paint pen and kind of touch up any places that you think needs a little bit more. Go back in there with your heat and touch that up as well. I thought it was really whimsical and fun, and a fun way to personalize a wood sign like this from the Dollar Tree. So I left the hangers on there, so I already have the twine. I can wrap that around the wreath form and tie it off. And I kind of decided I liked it like this. So knot it on the front, pull it around the back, and then we can knot it in the front to attach it to it. And then that kind of takes care of those holes on the sides and actually makes them functional. And you're using that rope that came with the shelf as well. And then I just kind of finished mine off with a very light distress of that same ivory chalk paint that we used to distress our flamingo, just to give it a little bit more of a coastal feel. And that's like on the top left kind of corner of the wreath, kind of offset. And this is how it turned out. This is how it looks on my front door for summer. I think it's really fun.